All right.
Sure. Already on the page. There. There we go. Now we're good.
Got a spinning wheel, and we are all across the board.
We are live. So it's time for you to tune out the world and tune in to Metalheads Unite. How you like that? New tagline.
Oh yeah, yes. I see T-shirt in our future.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, most definitely.
I like it.
I gotta do my taxes so I can buy all the shit to print.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man. But
What's
welcome.
good evening? Yep. Good evening to all of our fellow Americans, and good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time it might be, wherever else you might be watching around the world. We know it's Saturday morning for our friends in Europe and Australia. Actually, it's let's see, it's probably mid afternoon in Australia now.
Oh, yeah,
Hidden in Yep, our friends in Hidden Intent are probably at least two of the three of them might be a couple beers in. I know one of them is sober now, so who knows? But good evening, Dana. Dana's joining us at the top of the show this time.
So one of Hidden Intent not drinking anymore, huh?
Yep.
Oh well, that's cool.
Hey, there's Aunt Amy.
No, right on cue.
Our regulars are here. We appreciate them very much. Welcome.
And to all of the new people, if anybody out there new is watching, we were just talking about this before the show. We had a surge in the group page on Facebook. So,
Yeah, we had about what was it, 12 or 13 new people join the join the group this week. So welcome to any and all who may be watching. We definitely appreciate you guys joining us. And we hope you won't be disappointed. We try to we aim to please. So
I know we posted this in our group too. Before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to Mark Toretti from Contortion.
Oh my goodness!
Thank you so much for the gifts that you sent over. We really do appreciate that. And
actually, you know what? Speaking of that, I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna grab what they sent us. Hang on a second, because you guys got to see this. This is above it. This is above and beyond. I mean, they said they wanted to send us a gift, and we were super duper happy. We were super duper happy to accept. It was very generous. But hold on a second.
So, but yeah, we want to thank those guys from Contortion. If you haven't checked those guys out, Children of the Snake is on all streaming platforms. Check that out, EP out. It's pretty damn good. So, but yeah, they was very generous with their gifts to us. So was not expecting maybe a T-shirt or something like that. But
yeah, so was I. And that would have been. I mean, that would have been more than. Well, yeah, more than nice of them to do that.
I mean, we've gotten the caps from Ashes Rain from being. Yeah. We got the T-shirts from Alliant Records, which was cool.
Yeah, we got beanies and postcards from Hexed. I mean,
yeah, so it's pretty cool to get back a little appreciation for what we were giving in. So,
okay, so all right, so like I say, Mark over at Contortion, if you've watched the show for any length of time, they were, I don't exactly remember the date. Jason, you would probably know, but they were a guest on the show probably somewhere around the fall towards the end of the year. But they were
29th.
What was it?
September 29th.
Okay, so it was at the end of summer, very beginning of fall. So Mark Toretti from Contortion was on the show, and we had a great interview like we always have. We consider them friends of the show now, just like we do everybody else. We've kept in contact and everything. Every once in a while, we're kind of keeping up with everything they do on social media and all the progress and everything, like we do with everybody else. But we consider them friends of the show now. And not too long ago, after the first of the year, Mark sent us an email thanking us for having the new EP rated so high. The Children of the Snake is the new EP. Jason had it number one. I had it number two, and Mark was emailing us to thank him. But I mean, he really didn't have to do that because I mean, the pleasure was all ours because the music was fantastic. So
Yeah. Well,
he,
I mean, he did all the work. We just we just put him where he belongs.
exactly, yeah. So I mean, so yeah, I mean, the thanks are all ours. So, he said he wanted to, he asked for our address and, sent it to him. And he said he wanted to send us a gift. So, not a big deal. Like Jason said, for your maybe a t shirt or something, which would have been, like I say, more than enough. Because, I mean, just, you know, putting in the effort to send something to the United States all the way from Switzerland. So, anyway, cut to a couple days ago. And I open up this package. And here's what's inside. This is only a little bit of it.
That's
This
probably
is
not.
This is this is every single one of their CDs that they've put out, all the way from their first EP right here, and it numbered on the back.
Nice. Always
Every,
like
every single every single one of their CDs leading up to the EP. I don't know if you can see this, but autographed. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Autographed,
nice.
autographed on the cover, and then
That's a
And like
cool.
I say, and like I say, this is only half of it. There's a set of these in here. So I got one of these, Jason got one of these, and then you know some stickers,
I
some
always
more
like
stickers, some coasters, which are very cool,
as you can
and
tell.
then
I love the stickers. So
yeah, and then to top it off,
that's it.
a
Wow.
vinyl a vinyl of the brand new EP. Now I haven't opened this yet, and I hope no one minds that I don't. But
Right.
autographed on the back.
more,
so
more than
I
generous.
mean, I needless to say, I sent Mark a thank you email
Mhm.
instantaneously after the shock wore off of the amount of stuff that
I
that
feel like
they
I feel
that
like
they
we ever meet Mark, the thing I'm gonna go up to him and just do this.
yeah, right.
We're not
Yeah,
worthy, bro, brother.
I'm telling you, do the Wayne and Garth. Hell yeah. So yeah, that's and like I say, this is the stack right here. This is the stack of stuff. And like I say, Jason's got a stack just this big over there on the shelf that he's going to be getting tomorrow. So yeah, Mark and everybody over at Contortion. I mean, this is fantastic, and we can't thank you guys enough.
Much appreciated. Man. That's fucking killer, dude. Uh, I mean, like I said, those guys do all the work. We're just trying to put it out there so everybody
That's
can hear
right.
it, man. Like I mean, it's. I mean, like we went back and listened to their back catalog anyway when we were
Mm-hmm.
doing that. And I was like, because it was so good. I was like, man, this is so good. Go back and listen to some older stuff.
Yeah.
Like all of it's amazing. So if you're not following those guys on socials, please do.
Yeah.
They're
And
amazing.
the great thing is we don't have to open these because
Right.
now that we have them, we can keep them because we can listen to everything digitally. So now all of this remains in the packaging. That's hey, for all you kids out there, that's the great thing about having the physical media like this. This shit, believe it or not, will I mean, you're not probably not going to be able to retire on having a collection of this kind of stuff, but that's not what it's about.
Right.
So
It's just to have a visual. My thing is like Spotify can get hacked and go down. That CD can throw in a
that's
CD player and listen all day long. So I
that's
mean,
true. Absolutely. So
yeah,
never say never. I mean, the odds are low, but never zero. But yeah, at the same time, and having something you can hold in your hand is cool too. So yeah, thank you so much to Mark and everybody over at Contortion for that.
pretty
Knew it
much.
was knew we knew the gift was coming, just not to that extent. So that's awesome.
Right. So very cool dudes, man.
I mean, super duper appreciative to
I wonder. I wonder
to everybody who has sent us gifts so far because I mean you know, because everyone's trying to sell merch, but
mhm,
the folks who have sent us stuff, you guys have just sent us stuff in
mhm.
appreciation, and the appreciation is reciprocated. I can assure you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we wouldn't, have these guys on the show if we didn't think that, they deserve to be, more, known out there. So,
Right.
so hopefully, we did our part and got a few more people interested in the band. That's our main goal.
That is the goal.
Even if it's 100 or whatever. I mean, we get people interested, then
Hmm.
that's the main thing. Like, of course, we want, we're trying to get this thing up and running too because we're trying to do something that's pretty much not been done. I mean, because you don't you don't go on a lot of these metal pages and podcasts and see bands that you've never heard. It's like most of the time it's people you've heard of. So,
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that
oh
because
no,
that still gives exposure to the genre in its entirety, which is never a bad thing, especially for our musical genre that kind of is like the redheaded stepchild of, as far as the mainstream is concerned anymore.
but we
Because
don't.
this isn't. What's that?
So we don't need the mainstream those.
No, we don't. But I mean, still, any eyes that will appreciate it, others eyes and ears, any eyes and ears that will appreciate it is always good. So.
Yeah, I wanted to read the a message he sent us back. He said,
Mhm.
"Hi guys, I'm glad you liked your package. You are very welcome. It was a great pleasure to talk. That it was great. It's a great pleasure that our paths crossed, and that you helped to support contortion in the U.S. It was a spontaneous reaction to join you on the show so early in the morning, but it was absolutely worth it. This is just a little thank you for your work." And like I said, thank you because like I said, you took time out of your morning to
And
be
it
on
was and it was the morning.
5 p.m. there. It was like,
Yeah, I think it was like 5 a.m.
I'm just like, dude, like, I mean, we're all about moving our show to convenience to guests. I mean,
Yeah,
so for him to just be like, no, let's do it. So I'm like, all right,
yeah.
okay. And
And
I
Dana,
thought the person that did, I think Barrel did the same thing. They were,
yeah, it was early. Yeah, it was early for them. Yeah, Dana, you're right. There are a few pages and groups that spotlight the underground and local level music, and those, and especially Dana's group, Metal and Tats, they focus on that kind of
well,
stuff too. So.
I was mainly talking about the podcast. You got bigger podcasts like Metal Injection and
Hmm.
all these people have podcasts. They just don't do anything with underground music.
Yeah.
It's mostly, they I will give them their just they do reviews on a lot of underground. Uh, I've seen reviews on Extinction AD's music that we just
Hmm.
Rick, a week or so ago,
Yep.
and I've seen reviews on his stuff on those pages. So, I mean, they do that kind of stuff, which I don't. I think Extinction AD is probably a lot bigger than we realized. Whenever I
Yeah.
realized they were going on tours overseas and stuff, like, damn, okay. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize y'all had it like that. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, they put in the hard work, and we're just glad that we can share it with the world. Get it out there as much as possible.
Yeah.
So uh, I would love to make a CD with bands that are members of Metal and Tats a compilation. Well, hell, I
That's
don't
a great idea.
see why you couldn't.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Hell, just ask them. I'm sure they would be. I'm sure they would send you a single that they would want to be on it. You could put them together.
Yeah, let's see why not? So
Yeah,
and he's adding bands, pretty
left and right.
too on there. I'm just like, damn.
You could probably put a double album together for that.
Oh, man. So, I also wanted to touch on something I heard today, and I keep hearing this, and we talk about this every year. Is Metallica or some metal band needs to play the Super Bowl? Well, I don't know if you've seen that post I made today, but
I did.
but if you look it up, like these performers don't make anything to do the halftime show. So to hear you say a Metallica, someone, why would Metallica play a free show in front of a bunch of people? They don't need to because they
But
don't need.
but they also don't need the money either.
So
But
I'm saying they don't need the exposure though. I mean,
no, they don't. They
to me, I
don't.
feel like a Super Bowl should. If you really want to do something great, hey, follow our lead. Grab somebody that's not known and throw them on the fucking Super Bowl for exposure. They don't care about making the money because they're trying to get the exposure. These other people don't need the fucking exposure. Like,
Hmm.
these half the people you're talking about is ushers and all, and then people are rich. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why they're doing it for nothing too, because they don't, they don't care. They just want to perform, probably. But that's still beside the point. Is I feel like that's a market that they need to lean into more. Is to, hey, let's grab some people that's not as well known, but we kind of love. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Of course, the mayor of Las Vegas, because that's where the Super Bowl is this year. The mayor of Las Vegas was like, "I want ACDC at the Super Bowl," because he's a huge ACDC fan, and I would have been fine with that, even though full disclosure, I don't watch the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't give a shit personally, but I know there are people that do, and that's fine. But I don't watch it.
Well,
But
personally, I probably won't be watching any of it this year, but
well, I probably won't anymore either. If last week would have went a little bit different, I probably would. But
yeah, right. I just
yeah,
don't care.
it is what it is.
I don't care anything about either team that's in it. So
Yeah,
I can't stand. I can't stand the Chiefs. Period. So
yeah. But I mean, I'm still happy with the season that the Lions had. So
just and, if we get to see the 49ers win and Patrick Mahomes prance off the field in his little prance, and
I think that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I mean, can't I mean, you know,
my so this would be my favorite part. So if anybody would be listening, it would be awesome. But if anybody's affiliated with the Super Bowl, should or that stadium should, if they were to win, if the 49ers win, as soon as the clock strikes zero, they should play the Panteras walk and be like, "Walk on home, boy." That would be fucking hilarious. He
my
said,
aunt,
I hope, she
my
said, I
aunt,
hope they lose. Yeah.
yeah, she said I hope they both lose.
Well, fans lost. I can tell you that right now. Most most NFL fans lost. Too.
Yeah,
All right. So now off the soapbox,
yeah, yeah.
but I have been seeing that, and I just kind of wanted to put that out there. That's probably why you'll never see those bands do that, because I mean, you know, when have you never known Metallica not to be in it for money, for one? Um,
That is true.
for,
Of course, the funny thing is like maybe, of course, I don't remember when the last time the Super Bowl was in San Francisco. I mean, maybe they would play it then if someone asked them.
yeah,
You know,
maybe.
because the San Francisco Giants have Metallica night once a season for the baseball. So I mean, maybe the next time that the Super Bowl is in San Francisco, maybe they would then. I don't know.
I wonder if they're actually 49er fans. That'd be interesting to know.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean,
Not sure.
all right. Well, we will roll into this thing like normal here with some birthday love. Not a whole lot going on with birthdays this week, so it should be a quick run through here. From the January 27th, we're still doing some January stuff. And by the way, happy February, everybody. Man, January just flew by, didn't it?
It kind of did actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we got snowed in for a week. That's probably helps.
Yeah.
And probably get done again before February is over, I'm sure.
Which is weird because it was 70 goddamn degrees here today.
Nice today, yeah.
It was nice outside today. Or as Amy would say it was slightly chilly.
It's slightly chilly, yeah. For Hawaiians, yeah. Ooh, I need a sweatshirt. Birthdays from January 27th through February 2nd. January 27th, we have Mike Patton, vocalist for Faith No More. And of course, what's the other band?
Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, Mr. Bungle. There it goes. I almost said Mr. B. No, that's not right.
No, wrong, Mister.
Yeah, wrong, Mr. Mr. either. This is one, like, I was going to ask you about this because I've probably never pronounced their name right. But Yannick Gers, is that right? Guitar.
As far as I know, that's how he pronounces it.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I'm just like, you can't never tell. So, but anyway, guitarist for Iron Maiden. January 28th, we had Danny Spitz, guitarist for Anthrax from 83 to 95, and then again from 05 to 08. We had Donald Tardy, drummer for Obituary and Cause of Death. Jared Montag, drummer for Taproot. Matt DeVries, guitarist for Chimera. January 29th, we had David Byron, vocalist and songwriter for Uriah Heep. Unfortunately, passed away in 1995. We also had Eddie Jackson, bassist for Queensryche. January 30th, we had Bill Leverty, guitarist for Firehouse. January 31st, we had Adrian Vandenberg, guitarist for Whitesnake and, of course, Vandenberg. We had Jeff Hanneman, guitarist for Slayer. Unfortunately, he left us in 2013. We had Tony Spillman, guitarist for Spillage. Good friends of the show there. Uh,
Yep.
February 1st, we had Janie Lane, of course, vocalist for Warrant. He unfortunately passed away in 2011. Man, it doesn't seem like it's been a while ago.
No, it doesn't.
Ron Welty, drummer for The Offspring. William Scott Parrish, a keyboardist for Cypher Machine, one of the Metal and Tats bands over there. Uh, then February 2nd, we had Robert DeLeo, bass player, songwriter, and backing vocalist for Stone Temple Pilots, Army of Anyone, and Hollywood Vampires. I guess you pick and choose which band or what he did. So anyway, that was all of the birthdays that I had. I don't know if you
Hmm.
had anything that I didn't, but
No, I didn't have anything that you didn't, but I mentioned it briefly on the show last week, but it technically fits into to this week's time frame. Give a 20-second birthday shout out to my daughter Kayla.
oh, happy birthday, Kip. So,
Yep,
when was her birthday?
27th.
27th. Oh,
So it
okay.
was at the very, very tail end of last week's show. So I mean,
Okay. I mean, you could still say it then, too.
I mentioned it real quick, but yeah.
Yeah. There's
Formal shout out during the birthday segment though. So
yeah.
so there we go.
Well, I'm gonna shout out in ahead of time for my mom's birthday is tomorrow, and then my granddaughter's birthday is the 4th. So
Yep.
we're actually doing a party for her tomorrow. So cool. There's anyway. Happy birthday to all of those. Anybody had a birthday out there listening? Happy birthday to you as well. So,
Freaking lootly, man.
and that will get us into our metal news of the week.
Yes, it will. And unfortunately, we're starting off the show and starting off February uh, with some news that we don't really want to pass along. What the hell is going on with my computer? Uh, you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you. You're just
Okay.
your screens, your visuals froze on my end.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, that's fine. All right. So I will actually go to my phone to read this first story while my monitor catches up with everything. All right. Over at blabbermouth.net, like I say, we're leading off with some unfortunate news. Wayne Kramer, co-founder, guitarist, and singer of the influence.
All right, looks like I was trying to look at YouTube here, but yeah, Chris may have froze up on us. So it's like yeah, yeah, like Chris froze up on us. So I'll go ahead and read my first news story of the day, I guess, and so he gets his stuff out back up here. So we'll read mine, and I will start out with the same thing here. Got a oh, there he is. He's back. Hey, he's back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, I didn't lose Wi-Fi like has happened in the past. My whole goddamn browser just decided to shut down on me.
Hmm,
I have
okay.
no idea why.
So
But
I'm making sure it wasn't me because I went to YouTube and I was like, oh,
no, no, it wasn't you. Like I say, the whole damn thing just decided to shut down. Let me let me do one thing real quick. I don't even know if we are. I don't know if we're still streaming to Instagram or not. Because I'll start us back up. But still shows that I am,
okay.
but I don't know.
You
I don't know. Hang on a second.
know.
Okay, had to yell at Kayla real quick. I'm gonna have her check her Instagram, see if we're still live. She's in the next room.
Oh,
But yeah. So like I say, unfortunately, before I was so rudely interrupted by my own goddamn computer. So yeah, over at blabbermouth.net, Wayne Kramer, co founder, guitarist, and singer of the influential Detroit rock band MC5, has died at the age of 75. Kramer's passing was announced on Friday, February 2nd in a post shared to Instagram. A simple black and white photo of the rocker was posted with the caption, Wayne S. Kramer, peace be with you, April 30th, 1948 to February 2nd, 2024. Kramer died at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in LA, according to Jason Heath, a close friend and executive director of Kramer's nonprofit Jail Guitar Doors. Heath said the cause of death was pancreatic cancer. Following the news of Kramer's death, Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello took to social media to write, quote, Brother Wayne Kramer was the greatest man I've ever known. He possessed a one-of-a-kind mixture of deep wisdom and profound compassion, beautiful empathy, and tenacious conviction. His band, the MC5, basically invented punk rock music and was the only act not to chicken out and performed for the rioting protesters at the 1968 Democratic National Convention, end quote. MC5's Sonic Thunder continues to reverberate a half century after they first stormed the rock world with 1969's Kick Out the Jams. The galvanizing live document that introduced a major voice of late 60s counterculture and proved incomparably influential on metal, punk, stoner rock, and almost every other form of loud, boundary pushing music that would follow. The original MC5 lineup recorded two more albums before imploding, 1970's Back in the USA, produced by rock critic and future Bruce Springsteen manager John Landau, and their 1971 creative Zenith, High Time. The last days of 1972 also marked the final performance of the original MC5 lineup, thereby ending a turbulent existence marked by their anti-establishment political stance, mainstream radio banishment, FBI harassment, and lots of uncompromising, unequaled rock and roll fury. Iggy Pop has said that the MC5 belonged in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, quote, for their contributions to American music and its politics. They were hugely charismatic and influential. Their beliefs and approach had to do with things much larger than music, and these things are coming to light more and more today on the world revolutionary stage. There is no band that I know of as dangerous as the MC5, end quote. Kramer was a well-respected and prolific and television composer, Talladega Nights, HBO's Hacking Democracy, and HBO's Eastbound and Down among his credits. He was recognized by Rolling Stone magazine as one of the 100 greatest guitar players of all time. In recent years, Kramer toured as the MC50 with Soundgarden's Kim Thayil and Matt Cameron, Faith No More bassist Billy Gould, and Zen Gorilla singer Marcus Durant. 4 years ago, Kramer announced the formation of We Are All MC5, a touring reanimation of the pioneering band. So that probably just touches on like only a little bit of, you know, the reach and the influence that he had. So again, somebody who came around in the 60s and everything, even though we know Black Sabbath was basically started in 1968, but I mean, we don't always have to talk about everything being metal centric because, you know, the MC5, they weren't a metal band.
Right.
But everything has to start somewhere, and everything is influenced by the stuff before them. So you have influence that makes its way into the music of today. That's why we talk about people like that. You're probably like, why are you talking about him? He wasn't metal. There wouldn't be some metal bands if it weren't for people like him.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, we're you know, if you wanted to be all metal, then you're probably gonna have to wait 30 years when everybody, all the influencers are dead. So
Pretty much.
anyway, I will carry on the depressing portion of the show here. Over from Metal Sucks. If you were aware of hard rock and metal music in the early 2000s, there's a good chance you were familiar with Drowning Pool. If you were a teenage male around that time and knew of Drowning Pool, then you definitely knew about their 2004 sophomore album, Desensitized, if only for its album cover featuring porn starlet Jessie Jane. Last week, the 43-year-old actress, whose real name is Cynthia Ann Howell, was found dead in her Moore, Oklahoma home, along with her boyfriend Brett Hassenmuller. TMZ reported that police found both individuals dead after Hassenmuller's employer asked for a welfare check. Though the cause of death hasn't been revealed, it's believed that their untimely demise was drug related. With the tragic news making its way through the internet, Drowning Pool took to social media to remember Jane, who also appeared in the band's video for Step Up. We are deeply saddened by the passing of one of our friends, Jessie Jane. Our hearts go out to Jessie's family and all of her friends. She was truly a unique and amazing human being. Porn career aside, Jane was also featured in shows like Entourage, Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, and the 2009 movie Middleman. She also had a cameo appearance in the 2004 buddy cop flick Starsky and Hutch. We'd like to also offer our condolences to both Hassan Miller and Jane's friends, family, loved ones, and former colleagues affected by their passing. I think she was 43 of them. Yeah, 43. So that's just like, it's wild, man. You just never know.
Yep. You never know when your time is up. So
And it says something, fuck you, Dana Horn. I'm just
yeah, I think I saw that too.
kidding.
Oh,
He knows why.
yep. yeah. All right, this one is over at the PRP, and this one's just infuriating. I posted it to the group the other day, but this one just pisses me off. A report over at the Berkeley Scanner reveals that a 41-year-old man identified as Mark James Bradley was arrested for allegedly groping a 17-year-old female during a show at the punk hardcore institution 924 Gilman Street in Berkeley, California. The alleged incidents took place this past Saturday, January 27th, at the aforementioned venue. Industrial bass and drum duo Power Starve were headlining that night's performance with Closever, Grim Physician, and more also performing. A resulting investigation revealed as many as 4 victims that night, with Bradley ultimately being arrested on suspicion of sexual battery by restraint and battery. While a $25,000 bail was set, he has since been released from custody and is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow, January 31st. Of course, that's already happened. I don't know the results of that. A post shared by the venue reveals their cooperation in the investigation. It reads as follows, quote, "A message to the community. As some of you may have heard, there was an incident during a show on Saturday night where 4 minors were assaulted by an older man. Our staff responded immediately, assisted these young people in reporting the assault, and fully cooperated with the police in their investigation in order to ensure that they got the justice they deserved. The assailant was taken into custody. We are deeply concerned and upset that an incident like this happened. It is our highest priority as a community to maintain a safe environment for anyone of any age. Please know that we are conducting a thorough review of our security measures and will be implementing new practices as a response. We do not take this lightly, and our hearts go out to the people affected by this. We do as much as we can as a collective and a venue, and there are certain things that you can do to help us provide the safest environment possible. Not having alcohol/substances in or around these premises. For safety and legal reasons, we cannot allow alcohol and other substances in or around the venue, and when people bring it in or have it right outside, it directly diverts our security staff's attention and exacerbates other safety concerns. Please alert Gilman staff and security if you feel unsafe or witness other people creating an unsafe environment. We would not have been able to act so quickly without attendees alerting us to this incident." End quote. So, like I say, I don't know what happened with the arraignment of this asshole, but hopefully, uh, hopefully, whatever the max is, he gets it, because doing it to the 4 separate girls is repugnant,
Mhm.
and thankfully people saw it and pointed it out and helped. So so yeah, I hope they throw the book at this asshole. And
Well,
if he goes to jail, I hope they find out that he molested kids, because
I was gonna
that's
say justice would have been served if they'd have took him out in the alley and beat the shit out of him.
yeah, no kidding. But so I guess we'll kind of see. Like if I hear what happened with that guy, like what his sentencing was and everything else. If he got sentenced at all, I have no idea if that's even happened yet. So I'll try to find out and we'll pass it along. But when but yeah, when you're at a show, kind of enjoy the show, but kind of look out for each other.
Gotta be aware. So I mean,
Yeah, take care of each other out there.
all right, this one is court related as well, so it kind of goes right with
Hey, all right.
just over at Metal Hammer. We said we weren't going to talk about any of this stuff until we actually had some judgments involved. So this one about Marilyn Manson. He has been ordered to pay Evan Rachel Wood $326,956, covering much of the legal fees the Westworld actress amassed defending herself from the musician's defamation lawsuit. Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner, 55, sued his former partner Wood, 36, and her friend Elma Gore for defamation in March 2022. The suit claimed that the pair were attempting to characterize Manson as a rapist and abuser in the public eye, derailing his career in the process. Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Teresa A. Boudet dismissed the claims in the Manson suit in May of last year. She did so on the grounds that Wood's allegations against the singer, which included that he raped, tortured, and threatened her, were protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Oh wow, it really works for somebody. Imagine that. Wood and her lawyers wrote in their successful anti-slap statement, quote, for years, plaintiff Brian Warner raped and tortured defendant Evan Rachel Wood and threatened retaliation if she told anyone about it. Warner has now made good on those threats by filing the present lawsuit. Well, yesterday, of course, this was January 29th, so it wasn't yesterday, but as reported by Rolling Stone, Boudet ordered that Manson must pay Wood the vast majority of the legal fee that she spent defending herself against the musician's lawsuit. The actress originally sought $388,000, but the judge reduced the amount that Manson owed by upwards of $60K, agreeing that with Manson's lawyers that some of the hours Wood was billing for were vague. Despite the dismissal of the defamation lawsuit and the ordered reimbursement, Wood and Gore are still set to stand trial on May 1st. Manson's suit alleges that the pair conspired to hack into his computer and impersonate him online. Manson has also accused abusive behavior by actress Esme Bianco, known for her appearances in Game of Thrones. The 41-year-old sued the musician for sexual, physical, and emotional abuse in 2021 before the case was ultimately settled out of court in January 2023. So just a long line of court cases that are still to come, looks like. Manson. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that was part of a judgment for that case. So we'll see what happens with the rest of it.
Yeah, that stuff's not going away anytime soon, I don't think. But
Well, I don't think that they really had a lot to do with the uh, you derailing his career. I think he did a lot of that on his own. So
agreed. Yeah.
if you ever seen him live, you know. So
Well, I haven't, but I mean, I've seen videos. Yeah. So
it was bad enough where Rob Zombie was supposed to perform a duo with him, and he's just like, man, fuck that dude.
yeah, right. Yeah. When you've gone too far for Rob Zombie, you've gone too far. You've gone too far. Yeah.
It's like
All right.
Rockin' Heavy is over on Facebook. Watch it on. So I don't know if that's
Hey.
I don't know if that's Victor or
Or Rosemary. Yeah, hard to tell. But
either way.
yeah,
Welcome.
either way.
Yeah,
Either way, it doesn't matter.
good to see you guys still doing stuff there. So I seen
Absolutely.
where they were doing some videos a few weeks back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's good to see them still active and pushing stuff out there. So
Oh yeah.
we're not the only ones.
No, we're not.
We never claim to be the only ones, but
No.
do it. But podcast wise, maybe. But
All right. Okay. All right. Moving over. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Still staying at the PRP. This one may be a little bit of TLDR, but I'll probably not read this whole thing because it's a little lengthy. But there's a little bit of animosity in the band Ocean's 8 Alaska.
uh,
Vocalist James Harrison has announced that he has once again exited British metalcore group Ocean's 8 Alaska. In a personal statement shared across his social media on January 30th, he explained his latest decision to leave. A co-founding member of the outfit, Harrison previously exited the band in 2017, later rejoining in 2021 up until now. He shared the below lengthy statement on his departure, alleging secretive behavior by his other bandmates, along claims of misogynistic and homophobic commentary being made by them as well. Allegations of greed and general dysfunction were also touched upon. Harrison's statement reads as follows. Quote, rejoining Ocean's 8 Alaska was a mistake. Well, how's that for an opening line? He says it. Attention grabbing headline aside, myself and another longtime member of OAA and close friend will no longer be a part of the band and will not be on the upcoming European tour. I've chosen not to include their name in respect of their own comments if they so wish to make their own statement. I've had a couple of weeks to think this through, and their actions I've witnessed from the remaining members of OAA over the years just does not sit right with me. While I respect them as talented musicians, on a friendship level, this one cuts deep. Often, OAA has chosen to push things under the rug, forcing silence to obscure the truth. However, as a founding member of OAA, I believe the fans deserve to know the truth. After all, we'd be nothing without you. OAA has had a cacophony of issues over the years, from severing major industry ties to turning down career-defining opportunities, business malpractice, unethical greed, and toxic masculinity. Let me take this time to explain my experiences. First things first, I've given everything for OAA over the years, from dropping out of university to quitting interim jobs just to tour, sacrificing relationships and missing out on important moments in my friends' and family's lives, to never missing a show no matter the circumstances, almost breaking my neck and pelvis in El Paso and racking up $18,000 in medical fees, having everything I own, including tour earnings and passports stolen in Paris, to being accidentally left in a truck stop outside Budapest with no money at 5 a.m. in the morning for 5 hours, being electrocuted mid show in Birmingham, to vomiting in buckets between songs while deathly ill on numerous occasions. I'd have done anything to be on that stage, to not let the fans down and put on a metal show. Over the years, I've rolled with the punches and witnessed things you would never believe, all just to make music a passion that literally makes me feel alive. Coming off Warped Tour 16, a lifelong dream, I hit rock bottom. For the 2 years prior, we had toured the world continually with the launch of our debut album. I was exhausted without a penny to my name and mentally in the darkest place of my life. This also reflected in my actions. From the outside, it may have seemed like I was having the time of my life. Honestly, I was until I wasn't. Where others may have turned to drugs and alcohol, I didn't. It's not my thing. I just regressed into my shell and wrote music, battling my demons all by myself. Where friends are supposed to gather around and support you, instead I felt like nothing more than a burden to certain members of OAA. For months, not a single member reached out to me to see if I was okay. They couldn't even muster the courage to tell me to my face, let alone over the phone. Instead, our manager at the time called me and asked me to part ways. I took this time out to work on myself, finish university, and build a career path that would finally put me on the road to making music again. I'm fortunate to have built an incredible career outside of music in the gaming industry where I can work 100% remotely from anywhere in the world. This period in my life was the initial birth and concept of Lively. I had the finances to fund it independently and the freedom to travel and tour. Out of the blue one day, I received a call from OAA. They were in a sticky situation with the label, in debt, and once again without a vocalist. I was initially told things that I now believe to be false, and that ultimately, if I didn't rejoin, it would potentially be the end of OAA as a band. I guess I should have known. Some things never changed, but sentimentality got the better of me. I thought perhaps I could help to fix things, steer the ship back on track, but boy, was I wrong. What I returned to shocked me. OAA felt like a husk of a band I once knew. Morale was down, the dynamics between members had severely changed. Greed was rife to where two members were each on only a 2.5% split share. How can you cultivate a culture of equality and progress the band's career together when some members are forced to work multiple jobs constantly just to get by? Fair splits would provide them with time to write music and contribute further. They also had lost a great manager who I respect immensely and a North American booking agent during my absence. My understanding was that certain members did not want to tour extensively anymore due to other commitments. For those US fans that keep asking, honestly there wasn't a chance in hell OAA would tour the States again, but certain members would poke the bear online knowing full well it wasn't possible. The reasoning behind losing these key members of our back end team was also sketchy. I doubt I will ever know the truth behind this and Jake's departure. Three vocalists across as many albums isn't a good look. I suppose you have to ask yourself why and look beneath the surface. All right, there's quite a bit more here, and if you want to read more into this, it's over at the PRP, and I'm sure some other outlets. But yeah, it's getting kind of ugly. So I don't know where it goes from here, and I do believe that there is a rebuttal article from the other members, so I may take a look at that. I'll probably post that on the Facebook group and the Facebook page. Kind of, it's only fair to hear both sides. So,
Yeah, it's crazy. They just had a single out like a couple of weeks ago too.
like,
So
actually, I think it was actually like this week. I think it was like just recently out.
okay,
so, so
yeah,
yeah, the timing is interesting to say the least.
yeah. They just what did it happen? 22, one, 22. Yeah, they had a new album in 22. So hmm, yeah, so it's crazy. Things kind of spiraled out of control quickly. Sound like.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next one is over from Metal Sucks as well. We've talked a lot about this, so might as well just keep adding bands to the line up here against venues. So
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's hard out there for a band trying to make it on the road. You got to keep your van running. People need to eat, and I don't know if you noticed, but both of those things have only been going up in price in recent months. One way they can make ends meet is by selling merch. So when the Callous Dow boys hit Europe with Tesseract T and or Tesseract, I guess. I'm sorry,
Yeah, Tesseract. Yeah.
and unprocessed, they surely factored those costs in and figured they would have to sell some shit to fans to end up coming out in the positive. But then came merch cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Up in Milan, Italy yesterday. I don't know when yesterday was, but anyway, they were hit with a particularly hefty merch cut of about 47% at the Alcatraz venue. Motherfucker, that's nearly half of every euro they'd earn going into a 22% value added tax and a 25% venue merch cut. Fucking oof. In an initial post on their Twitter account, the band announced that they decided to not sell any merch at the venue as a result. Instead, they told fans to wait until after the run of dates ends so the band could make their tour merch available online. But this is the Callous Cowboys we're talking about here. So that only lasted a few hours. As fans responded on Twitter calling the venue cuts absurd, the band decided to simply sell their shit out of their trailer outside the venue. This isn't the first time a band has called out ridiculous merch cuts. Everyone from Bad Omens to Fear Factory to Alpha Wolf has had a run in on opinion on the tactic, which many sees as venue owners sticking their grubby hands into the band's cookie jar, as it were. Opponents of the practice say venues inherently gain tons of money from concession sales and a portion of ticket sales already. So the fact that they're taking a cut from the merch sales as well feels extra shitty. Hopefully, the rest of the tour won't be met with such insanely high merch cuts. The band's got to eat, man. So hopefully not. That's kind of crazy. But I think when we talked to Jason McMasters about this from Dangerous Toys, he said that those merch cuts have been going on for years. Um, so it's kind of like I think it's been going on for years. I just don't think it's been this high. I
Yeah, it
think that's
has.
the problem. I think if you get a 10% merch cut, I don't think a band's going to fucking blink an eye about that. I think when you get into this 30 and 40% stuff, they're just like, hold up, motherfucker. Like, it's getting a little bit out of hand there. So
Yeah. And I hope more bands do that. Be like, look, we'll be outside after the show. Come see us.
yeah. I mean, or
Yeah.
just sell it online, like you said. Just matter of fact, if they want to set it online before you go to the show, that way you're wearing it when you get there. Hell, I'm all for that too. So I mean,
No, yeah, they could do that too. But but it sucks that some bands. It sucks that bands are put in that position because that's actually part of the concert going experience is going up to the merch table and buying something. So I mean, these venues are screwing the fans over too. So
yeah,
they're screwing the bands harder. Don't get me wrong,
right.
because these merch cuts are exorbitant. It's ridiculous. So good on them for being like, nah, no, you're not getting anything.
Well, Dana's in here. Have you any of your bands ran into that, Dana? You can kind of post in there if you want to.
Yeah, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Alrighty, staying over at the PR court. The rest of mine are at the PRV. With Piggy D officially out, Rob Zombie has welcomed his former bassist, Rob Blasco Nicholson, back into his band. Piggy D announced this week that his time with Zombie had come to an end, ending his near 20-year run in the group. Now, Zombie has followed up, revealing that Piggy's predecessor, Blasco, is once again holding down the low end duties. Following the 2022 departure of guitarist John Five and the subsequent reinstatement of Mike Riggs in his place, this puts the roster for Zombie's backing band at three-fourths of its original 1997 era. Only drummer John Tempesta remains out of the lineup, with Gingerfish staying put behind the drum kit. Zombie briefly commented on the matter via social media on January 30th. His post can be seen below. You'll have to check it out in the story if you want to. This incarnation of the band's lineup will be backing Zombie on stage amid this year's Freaks on Parade tour, which will once again find Zombie sharing stage with Alice Cooper, Ministry, and Filter. Spoiler alert, probably be talking about that and hitting the road. So
Yeah. Dana said some of the bands that he knows of have encountered that. So it's unfortunate. So,
yeah.
especially in the Nashville area where beers are, $8 to $10 anyway. For
Mm-hmm.
you buy a 6-pack for the price of one beer at most of these places.
Yep. Oh,
Definitely.
you'd be better off. Yeah, definitely be better off like having a couple beers after the show.
Mm.
Of course, probably be a better idea anyway. That way you could enjoy the show and then do your drinking afterwards. You could enjoy your drinks and not get what do you call it? Not get price gouged. That's it.
Yeah. My thing is, like, I went to one a while back, and they, I've been to ones where they have Dasani water and stuff there, and they'll sell it for like, $2-3 or something like that, which I guess cool, whatever. But the liquid death ones are the ones I hate. Like, how's liquid death? It's $7. I'm not paying $7 for water.
No. Yeah, and that's the messed up thing is even in their ad campaign they're like relax it's just water and that's all it is. That's all it is. There's nothing special about it. They have some flavored waters, but it's still just flavored water.
Dana, yeah, we know you're not gonna do things.
Oh yeah, man. Dana's on the up and up, man. So
Dana's a straight hour guy, so I mean, it's and like I said, when you got people that's on board with a lot of these bands and know how hard it is, like they're not. I'm not gonna take advantage of them. I mean, venues don't know, don't care. So I mean, they're just like, hey, you want to use my venue? This is what you're going to do. So, I mean, which is ridiculous because without me, you don't have the people in here buying your shit. So
it's a symbiotic relationship, and you're these venues that want to do that, they're in danger of not not losing everything, but I mean, that's definitely taking a hit. But I mean, if that's the hill that these venues want to die on, I mean that's up to them, I guess. But
well,
good on these bands for be like, you know what, you're not taking advantage of us. Good for them.
yeah, I mean, you got to take a stand. So
Yeah, good for them. I am
all right.
100% on like in this instance, I'm on 100% on the Callous Cowboys side.
Oh well, yeah, 47% is just fucking ridiculous, man.
Oh, that's beyond ridiculous.
That's
I think anything. I think anything over 20 is ridiculous, and I think 20 is pushing it.
they're probably making up for all the COVID money they lost
But that doesn't
over in Italy. So,
see that doesn't make any sense. Everyone was affected financially by COVID.
yeah,
Everybody
but
was
I love that excuse though. Oh, it's because I'm trying to make up COVID.
everybody was screwed over by COVID financially.
Hey,
I don't care. I don't care who you are.
we're still being screwed over by COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, have a good one, Dana.
Have a great one, my friend.
But yeah, we're paying. People's like, oh, well, I'm not getting half as much back on my taxes. Oh yeah, well, that's because you're paying back COVID money that you got when you were, they supposedly told you it was free.
Yeah,
Duh, nothing's
that
free.
was probably one thing that I was glad about personally. I didn't lose any. I didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got COVID and I was out for a week. But I mean, as far as like getting furloughed or anything like that, I didn't lose any. I didn't. My job wasn't affected at all, other than the 1 week that I was out because I was sick. That was it.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. All right.
My next
All
one
right.
over metal injection. For the whole month of February, you can now find the Metal Injection Sandwich at Mission Sandwich Social in Brooklyn, New York. Mission is a killer sandwich shop that creates some of the best and healthiest eats that you can get on the East Coast. They are no strangers to metal, with many of the cooks rocking out in the kitchen and Chef Brian Saul from our very own Taste of Metal series at the helm. The metal injection sandwich is a delicious supersized meal that consists of chicken cutlet, guacamole, pepper jack cheese, chipotle mayo, barbecue sauces, cucumber, pickled jalapeno, tomato, lettuce, and cilantro. This bad boy also comes as a full vegan option and might be one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. So if you're in that area in New York, go down and get you a metal injection sandwich.
Hell yeah, dude. It sounds pretty good.
I mean, I would try.
Yeah, I would try it. All right. My next to last story. Crossfaith have announced that they have parted ways with their bassist Hiroki Ikegawa. The Japanese metalcore band announced the lineup change in a series of statements issued overnight being the 30th, 31st. The group collectively commented on the matter as follows, quote, Crossfaith, sorry, thinking about Chris Benoit's finishing move, I guess. Crossfaith had decided to part ways with Hiroki Ikegawa. We want to thank him for journey he took with us and wish him luck with everything in the future. In the meantime, we continue to work on current Japan tour as well as new music, Crossfaith, end quote. Ikegawa stated, quote, hello, it's been a while. I've been doing good, and it's snowing outside here now. I'm sitting, writing this, and remembering all the paths we went through. Every gig was its own odyssey. Every gig has its own story. I tried to express what I'm feeling and thinking now with so many words. But after all, I want to say thank you for being with us, and I had a good time, like I used to say after the show. My and their odyssey, called one's life, are still going on as long as we live. Even darkness must pass. My old friend mentioned this all the time, so I leave this quote here. I'm still feeling well and surrounded by my smiles, and I'm ready to discover what the future has in store for us and me. Until then, please know it's joy of a lifetime to the 16 years with Cross Faith and you. I'll see you down the road, Hiroki Ikegawa. End quote. Let's see. Each member of the band also offered individual statements of their own on the lineup change. You can read those in the gallery below, and there are some. It looks like Instagram posts that are inset. Most of them are in Japanese. Of course, they are translated into English, which I have already read. So, no word as of this story as to whom the replacement may be. So.
Hmm, okay. A lot of man, there's been a lot of bands switching up lately. So
Mm-hmm.
or members, I should say, not the whole band. All right, this last one I have is over from Loudwire. Nikki Sixx has claimed a legal victory in his ongoing battle with an alleged stalker in a post to X, formerly Twitter. We know that. The Motley Crue rocker that he'd been awarded legal fees from a stalker who allegedly targeted him and his family, adding that they were, quote, now just awaiting sentencing, end quote. Oh, wait a minute, he still quotes like, quote, people can't do whatever they want when it comes to my family. The basis declared, it is important to hold these people accountable. Amazingly, this is one of the two stalker cases Sixx is currently dealing with. The first brought these scary situations to light in November, noting that a deranged woman from Tennessee and another stalker from a different part of the country had both been harassing and threatening his family. The FBI got involved with legal action taken against both women. In his update, Sixx noted in his recent legal victory came against stalker number two. Also, because of the weather, the first stalker's sentences got pushed back a little. The rocker reported that's coming soon too. So we are asking for 3 years in jail. We are using the legal system to hold bad people accountable. When your daughter and wife get threatened, all bets are off. So I guess there's some comfort there for Nikki, but
Yeah. And
yeah,
I and
he's taking bass lessons now. Finally, so.
yeah. And I will go as far as to say that Nikki Sixx has probably got three stalkers if you want to count Mick Mars.
Well, that's, uh,
Too
well,
soon?
well, I mean, Mix won his legal battle with them too. So I mean,
Yes.
so
Yeah, so Nikki's like 1 for 3 at this point. So
yeah.
all right, my last one over at the PRP. We got a little bit of good news here regarding, one of the many thefts we've reported on over the years.
Oh, yeah.
October of 2021 was certainly a challenging period for instrumental post-metal collective Russian Circles. First, the group unfortunately found themselves the victims of theft while on tour in California. Their U-Haul was broken into in the parking lot of a Holiday Inn they were staying at in Chowchilla, California, with an extensive list of instruments, gear, and personal items stolen. Adding insult to injury, their planned shows with System of a Down, Korn, and more at the time, which they were traveling to when the theft occurred, were postponed by several months after Serge Tankian came down with COVID-19. Thanks to the generosity of others, the trio were able to recover fairly quickly and with a subsequent crowdfunding campaign raising nearly 63,000 US dollars for them. Several years removed from that incident, Russian Circles have now been reunited with several instruments and some gear previously lost in that theft. Their return came about not only through police work, but also from vigilant pawn shop and music store owners. The band issued a statement on the matter on January 29th. Quote, as some of you may remember, Russian Circles were robbed back in October 2021 while we were on tour in California. In addition to the band, and crew losing the majority of our equipment, we lost a bunch of personal items and a costly amount of rented and borrowed gear. We were hit with another potentially devastating loss when the tour was canceled after the next show due to the headlining band having a COVID case in their ranks. It was a difficult and unfortunate moment for the band, but the overwhelming kindness of the public helped restore our faith in humanity. Through the generosity of friends, fans, and gear companies, we were able to recover from the material and financial loss of losing everything in the immediate aftermath of the already difficult stretch of 2020 and 2021. Just in case it hasn't just in case it hasn't said enough already, thank you so much to everyone that helped us get back on our feet. An enormous thank you is due to everyone that shared the news that and stolen gear list on social media. The news traveled quickly and broadly, whether we were buying replacement cables at Guitar Center or ordering a pedal from a shop in the Midwest. If we mentioned the robbery, folks had heard about the incident and shared their condolences. It meant the world to us to know that people felt our pain and were on the lookout. The most devastating losses were the guitars. These were vintage guitars and custom shop builds that had been our primary instruments for years. They were both deeply personal tools and extremely difficult, if not impossible, items to replace. We are beyond thrilled to announce that we have been reunited with several of these instruments in recent months. The electric guitar company bass would never have come back into our possession if not for folks spreading the news about the theft. A huge shout out is due to John Ableton and his co-workers at Gottschalk Music Center for recognizing the bass when someone was trying to sell it to their store. Mike's Gibson Les Paul and Brian's first act baritone were recovered in a drug bust somewhere in California. All three instruments had to be held as evidence, and even after they were cleared by the police, it took time to coordinate getting these guitars back into our hands. It's been a long process, but we're simply thrilled to be reunited with these guitars. It can't be said enough. Thank you to everyone for their help in this recovery. Whether you reposted the gear list, sent a donation our way, picked up a shirt at the merch table, kept an eye out on Craigslist, or even just shared your sympathies, it meant a lot to us and helped us get back to business. Aside from some microphones recovered in a car chase and some pedals spotted at a pawn shop, which by California law had to be purchased back, nothing else has turned up, but these guitars were easily the most cherished and or irreplaceable items, and we can't understate the joy felt in having them back. Thank you so much, end quote. So, again, just some good news, because we've talked about, I can't even remember how many stories we talked about with, people not being able to keep their hands off of shit that doesn't belong to them and breaking into vans, stealing, breaking into U-Hauls or breaking into shops and sheds or studios or whatever, just so it's good to finally be able to report on, a band getting some of their shit back that rightfully belongs to them. So
All right. I guess that will wrap that part up. And I do have some other headlines here we can go over. Chuck Billy wants to have Testament's next record done before their summer tour, which I think no complaints.
nope, not a one.
uh, Allegion to record their next album with founding vocalist Ezra Haynes. Cliff Williams may not play bass on the upcoming AC/DC tour. Not sure what's. I think he's set out a few of those here and there, though, so I think that's no surprise, really. Avenged Sevenfold to play some deep cuts on their upcoming tour. Well, maybe let's sell some tickets now.
Yeah, as long as those deep cuts are from their earlier from their earlier albums.
I'm just kidding. Congrats to Anthrax's Charlie Benante and Butcher Baby's Carla Harvey. They did get engaged this week. So
yeah.
So they've been dating forever. Might as well, I guess.
Yep. Congratulations to them. That's a big one.
Yeah. Dark Tranquility finished recording their new album, so that one soon. Ex Megadeth guitarist Marty Friedman hopes the guitar solo dies a slow and painful death. So I'm not sure I agree with that. But
Yeah, sorry, Marty, I don't agree with you on that one.
He's trying to say people need to put more into it than just a solo. But I mean, I gotta get what he was saying. But yeah, we don't want that to go away. So
no,
that's part of part of music. So.
Mm-hmm.
Nita Strauss will perform national anthem at the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum NASCAR event. So congrats to her. She's busy with stuff. Dude.
Yeah, I'm glad she's recovered from all of her injuries too. So that's good.
Oh yeah. So this one, let's see. All Shall Perish to play their first show in 11 years. So that's pretty big news.
Mm-hmm.
I bet there won't be no butterflies there. First show in 11 years. Man, that's crazy. I know when I was out, went back to the ring after 3 months. I was like, oh shit, first time. So David Ellison is fine where his career is right now, but Megadeth is my band too. He said. Well, I don't know if Dave Mustaine would agree with that. But Ozzy, the landlord, wants you to rent his West Hollywood condo for $9,500 a month. Yeah.
Goddamn.
Damn. You gotta say it right. Damn.
Yeah.
uh, you can hear Dragon Forces through the fire and flames in the new Despicable Me 4 trailer. That's pretty cool. Of course, a lot of people doesn't don't really like the trailer much from what I've seen. So that was the best part of it was the Dragon Force music.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I haven't either, so uh, probably be a Super Bowl thing. I imagine.
Oh, might be.
Alice in Chains are releasing a version of Jar of Flies with actual dead flies embedded in the vinyl.
I mean, gross, but okay.
That's why I was like, I don't know if I would want that, but okay. Rob Halford of Judas Priest says if one person deserves a knighthood, it's Ozzy Osbourne, and urges King Charles to knight the Prince of Darkness.
Got my vote.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're going to do it, might as well do it while he's still around.
That would be ideal.
And then You, Me at Six are breaking up after 20 years of music. So a lot of bands calling it quits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It didn't really give any details on that. So if I hear any details about that, I'll kind of share it. It didn't say there was animosity or if it was that thing. Everybody it was
Yeah,
applicable or none of that stuff. So
I think from what I read, it sounds like it's just one of those things where they're like they just feel like it's time. I don't know. So I don't.
amicable. Sorry, so
Yeah.
you know what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
uh, but yeah, so yeah, it just didn't seem like there was a lot going on there. Maybe they just lost their desire. I guess I don't know.
Oh, it could be. That happens.
Sir Ozzy, yeah, that'd be
Exactly. Yeah.
good. So that will end the headlines there. We will kick into hitting the road.
Yeah.
I just got two little things to talk about here.
All right.
I will say this: the festivals are starting to come together. I'm noticing. So once all those get announced, I'll probably be covering those a little bit. But
Yep.
I think the only ones I think I've already covered the ones that I know for sure have a full lineup with Welcome to Rockville and Sonic Temple. Those are two that I talked about before. So, but hitting the road, Zach Wild has announced his first ever music festival dubbed Berserkus, or Berserkus. There we go. For September 14th at the Poconos Park in Bushkill, Pennsylvania. The festival is co-headlined by Cody Jinks and Black Label Society alongside support from Clutch, Rival Sons, Blackstone Cherry, Zaso, the ultimate Led Zeppelin experience, the Atomic Punks, a tribute to early Van Halen, and the Iron Maidens, which is a tribute to Iron Maiden, of course. In addition to the music, Berserkus will also offer a car show, music gear market, strongman competition, craft beer festival, battle of the bands, Miss Berserkus contest, and a Ride for Dime charity Harley ride in memory of Pantera's Dimebag Darrell. So Pocahontas Park is honored to work with Zach Wild to host Berserkus in the Poconos, said Poconos Park from the Roots CEO John M. Oates. Integrating Zach's vision and passion into a fan-focused festival experience is going to be fun for all who attend. Early bird tickets are available. Well, not early bird anymore because they started February 1st, but they
Right.
are available at berserkus.com. So there you go. So if you're interested in that. So that may wind up being a big thing, because I mean he's kind of trying to do the Ozfest type thing, I guess, but we'll see. And the only tour that I had that I was going to talk about was the Nothing More Wage War, Battle of Maya, and Sleep Theory announced a U.S. tour that kicks off on April 16th in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Fillmore and ends on May 18th in Bloomington, Illinois at the Castle Theater, but that is Nothing More only. And that was all the contributions I had to hit the road this week.
All
So,
right. All right. Well, I got a little bit of a shorter list this week. I only got just a shade over 2 pages, so we'll get through this relatively quickly. For the week of the 27th of January through February 2nd, leading off at the PRP.com, as always, we have Wheel and Aviations going on a North American tour starting May 2nd in Orlando, Florida at Conduit, finishing May 25th in Seattle, Washington at Barboza. Barry Tomorrow has announced a trio of November headlining UK shows. November 22nd in Glasgow at Barrowlands Ballroom. November 23rd in Manchester at the Academy, and November 24th in London at the Roundhouse. Ingested, Fallujah, Vulvodynia, and Melancholia are going to Europe and to the UK, starting April 17th in Bristol, England at the Fleece, finishing May 19th in Haarlem, Netherlands at Patronaat. Mr. Bungle and Spotlights are going to Europe, starting June 12th in London, England at the O2 Forum, Kentish Town, finishing June 29th in Clisson, France at Hellfest. Pupil Slicer, Coil Guns, and God Alone are going to the UK, starting April 10th in Birmingham, England at Devil's Dog, finishing April 21st in London at Oslo. Gel is going on a European and UK tour, no word yet on the openers, starting May 31st in Barcelona, Spain at the Primavera Sound, finishing July 7th in Ypres, Belgium at Hyperfest. Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Ministry, and Filter are going on a U.S. tour, starting August 20th in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Ileta Amphitheater, finishing September 18th in Fort Worth, Texas at the Dickies Arena. Attila, Traders, and Not Enough Space are going on a very, very short, brief U.S. tour, starting May 28th in Peoria, Illinois at the Revival Music Hall, finishing June 2nd in Dallas, Texas at the So What Music Festival. They will be in Memphis, Tennessee on June 1st at Growlers. Body Count is going to Europe and to the UK. No word yet on the opening acts for that either. Starting June 5th in Gdansk, Poland at the Mystic Festival, finishing July 2nd in Glasgow, Scotland at SWG3. Knocked Loose, Show Me the Body, Loathe, and Speed are going on a tour of North America, starting April 29th in Detroit at the Russell Industrial Center, finishing June 9th in St. Petersburg, Florida at Janus Live. They will be in Nashville May 1st at Marathon Music Works. The Music Works. I'll get it out in a minute. Rivers of Nile, Vitriol, and Face Yourself are going on a U.S. tour starting April 28th in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma at 89th Street, finishing May 30th in St. Louis at Off Broadway. Spite, Body Snatcher, Throne, Kenosis, Psycho Frame, and Cell are going on a U.S. tour starting May 10th in Destin, Florida at Club LA, finishing June 16th in New Orleans at the House of Blues. They will be in Nashville on May 12th at the Eastside Bowl. Oceano has announced a pair of shows with Hive and more acts to be announced. March 15th in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Hoosier Dome, and March 16th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the X-Ray Arcade. Alpha Wolf and Muir, Unity, Texas, and Chamber are going on a tour of North America starting April 12th in Mesa, Arizona at the Now Theater, finishing May 26th in Houston, Texas at Warehouse Live. They will be in Nashville on April 30th at the Eastside Bowl. Vader is going on a 40th anniversary tour with Biocancer and Warside, starting May 30th in Lodz, Poland at Scenografia, finishing July 6th in Nijmegen, Netherlands at the Doorn Russia. I hope that's even close to how that's pronounced. High on Fire is going on a European and UK tour starting June 4th in Brno, Czechia at the Cabinet for the Muses, finishing July 6th in Wien, Austria at the Arena Wien. Crowbar and Morbid Visions are going on a U.S. tour starting March 30th in New Orleans, Louisiana at the Southport Hall, finishing April 14th in Virginia Beach at the Elevation 27. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Memphis on April 2nd at Growlers. The only other one I have is over at metalinjection.net. We have Witch Vomit, Phobophilic, and Mortal Wounds going on a U.S. tour starting April 19th in Olympia, Washington at Cryptotropa, finishing May 4th in Portland, Oregon at the high water mark. So that's hitting the road for the 27th through the 2nd.
This show's kind of going fast today, like that.
A little bit.
All right. So we will kick into our theme of the week. This week's theme of the week is Lost and Found. I'm sure all of us have used that at some point in our life.
Mm-hmm.
I have the lost section of this thing, so
yep.
Kick off the lost part of it. The first one here was Death Angels Lost from the Evil Divide 2016. Second was After the Burial, Lost in the Static from Dig Deep 2016. Went with band name this time, Paradise Lost went with Widow from the Icon 30 album from last year. 3. Then went with Shadows Fall, Lost Within from Fire from the Sky 2012. Then went with Halloween, Lost in America, My God Given Right 2015. Then with Queen's Right, Lost in Sorrow from the album Digital Noise Alliance from 2022. Then went with Motionless in White, Generation Lost from Reincarnate 2015. And then went with Killswitch Engage, Lost from Killswitch Engage subtitle album 2009. Then with Iron Maiden, Lost in a Lost World from Senjutsu 2021. And went with Disturbed Hell from the Lost Children 2011 album. Lamb of God, Forgotten, Lost Angels from the album Sacrament 2006. I went with Avenged Sevenfold Lost from Avenged Sevenfold's album 2007. Then I went with Band again, Lost Society, 112, 112, or 112. I don't know how they do that, but anyway. I say 112, but that's from the album If the Sky Came Down 2022. Then I went with In This Moment, Lost at Sea from The Dream 2012. Not a lot of early In This Moment stuff I like, but that song is pretty cool.
Hmm.
Devil Driver Lost from Beast 2011. Then I went with Creators Lost from Cause for Conflict 1995. Then this was a band that I kind of came across doing this, which is pretty cool, and looking forward to maybe hearing some more of this because this was a single they came out this year. The band's name is Ender. The song is Innocence Lost. It was a single that came out in 2023, so hopefully that means there's an album coming soon.
Nice.
Then I went with Crystal Lake, Lost in Forever from Helix 2019. And then there's another band I kind of come across doing this for 3 Years Hollow, Lost from the Cracks 2014. So probably going to try to start listening to some more of that stuff, or at least get it on the radio station. So when it comes on, I'm like, oh yeah.
Nice.
And then my last but not least, I have Born of Osiris, Lost Souls, and that was from the album Angel Earth Alien 2021.
Oh, nice.
I could have kept going, but I was like, yeah, that's 20. That's good.
I was just about to ask you how many you got to. 20 is a nice round number. I actually only ended up with 12. This is the shortest
Oh,
list. This is actually the shortest list I've had in quite a long time. Obviously I had the found portion of the Lost and Found. So leading off, I had Newfound Power by Damage Plan off the album with the same name from 2004. Then I had Newfound Power by Firewind, which was a single that they came out with in 2021. Then I had Killing Victims Found by Obituary off of World Demise from 1994. Then I had I Will Find You by Whitechapel off of Kin from 2021. Then I had Seek and Destroy by Metallica off Kill 'Em All 1983. Then I had Look Out by 3 Inches of Blood off Long Live Heavy Metal from 2012. Then I had Soul Search Me by X Hoarder off The Law from 1992. Got some early X Hoarder in there.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, then I had In Search of Sanity by Onslaught off In Search of Sanity from 1989. Then I had Revenge I Seek from Bleeding Through off of This Is Love, This Is Murderous from 2003. Then I had Find a Way or Make One by Amon Amarth off the Great Heathen Army from 2022. Then I had Dig by Mudvayne off LD50 from 2000. And my last one was Drag the Waters by Pantera off the Great Southern Trendkill from 1996. Yeah, I admittedly had a little bit more of a struggle than I thought I would with this one,
Yeah. That's,
but I guess it do be like that sometimes.
that's what the nice man King Parsons used to say that in wrestling. I'm a
Yep,
as it be that way sometimes.
yep. But I mean, hell, still between the two of us, we're gonna have 32 songs. So I
Yeah.
mean, that'll be a decent list. I've already put my part together. I just sent it to Jason, so he'll be able to he'll be able to do his thing, and we'll get it compiled and posted for you guys.
Nice. Yeah. So I'll probably put, think of stuff to add maybe. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
maybe.
Yeah. Because I didn't look at anything found. So maybe something will come to me while I'm adding.
Yep, could be.
All right. So I guess that will take us into album reviews. Then we might get through this in an hour and a half today.
We might.
Oh,
We
wow.
might.
Short show.
Yeah.
Just there wasn't really a lot of news out there either, though. I mean, that kind of
Yeah.
puts a damper on it.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
sure.
that's okay. Not every show's got to be 2.5, 3 hours.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, even you would prefer it being a shorter since you work all day and didn't have to come and do this. So,
No,
uh,
I look forward to this. I look forward to this every week. So
but I guess we'll go into album reviews this week. This week's album review that I took was Hero and the Horror. Old Ghost is the album I took. Not a lot of info on these guys, so I just dug up what I could. They are a band out of Springfield, Massachusetts. They are comprised, or they are currently comprised of Dean Dewey on vocals, Michael Drost on lead guitars, Phil Bonk on guitar and vocals, John Slow Maggard on bass and vocals, and then Sam Gollin on drums. This is the band's debut album, so
Nice.
and 11 songs, 43 minutes, 39 seconds. Uh, Vocally, it reminded me a lot of like a Breaking Benjamin, 10 Years, Stain, that kind of era of music,
Okay.
where, it wasn't like, it was kind of like a mix of all that, honestly. Just a little bit harder, I would think, but they're definitely, I don't know, it's like, it sounds to me like it may be like I don't know if this is even a thing, but it's like grunge metalcore. That's what it kind of sounded like. I don't even know if that's a genre, but that's just kind of like what it sounded. Putting two things together is kind of what it come off
Was
of.
was grunge core.
Yeah, yes, I don't
let's
know. But
let's not let's hopefully let's not talk something like that into existence. Let's
we
not
got
do
we got enough to keep up with.
that.
It did have some great melodies that can take you on a roller coaster with all the change ups and stuff like that. So I think it's great that it had just enough of that, late '90s, early 2000s hard rock metal vibe to it. But then it tweaked it enough to make it relevant here, in 2024, of course. So
Hmm.
really good job. I think they do have potential to go even harder from some of the stuff that I heard, because it did kind of, it did kind of mellow out, and then got back into some of the metalcore type vocals, and then mellowed out. So I mean, it was a little back and forth. It was a good mix, I think. Though it wasn't like, I'm not going to complain about it at all. It was a pretty good mix. But I'm going to give it four horns because I
Okay.
enjoyed it, and and I'm kind of reminiscent of an era we grew up listening to music, so it kind of brings back some stuff when you listen to stuff like that. So
Yeah, definitely not bad. All right. Well, let's see. My album review this week was the new album Ultra Power by the band Striker. They are a heavy slash power metal band formed in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada in 2007. Their lyrical themes are metal, beer, life, and death. So, I mean,
what else is there?
yeah, you got the essentials in there, I guess. They are a quintet consisting of Dan Cleary on vocals, Timothy Brown on guitars, Pete Klassen on bass, Jonathan Webster on drums, and John Simon Fallon on guitars. This is actually their seventh full length album. Their debut album, Eyes in the Night, came out in 2010, leading up to Ultra Power today. Ultra Power is 11 tracks in length, 41 minutes and 26 seconds, so a relatively easy listen as far as time goes.
Mhm.
And Jason, you just brought up a little bit of nostalgia. So I mean, if you want nostalgia, this one's got nostalgia written all over it. This one, first and foremost, kind of reminds me of Steel Panther, but not nearly as vulgar and profane. Um, so I mean, these guys have got the 1980s hair power metal thing. They've got this. They don't have the market cornered because, like I say, Steel Panther's probably leading the charge in that respect. But I mean, they took that baton and they're kind of running with it too. A lot of it is done really really well. Dan Cleary, he's got a hell of a voice, very very nice and clean and powerful. Uh, Decent high end. He didn't really get too high. Kind of kind of in the same vein like Michael Starr from Steel Panther. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like they're a Steel Panther clone, but that's really what it reminded me of first and foremost. But Dan Cleary doesn't do that high pitch kind of like that what do you call it? That David Lee Roth kind of little pitchy scream that he does.
Mhm.
So Dan Cleary doesn't do that, but he can Dana, god damn it. So he can still he can still sing very very well, and they've between Tim and John, they've got a nice twin guitar attack. Um, a lot of very very well done guitar riffs and guitar solos. The entire album is super duper up tempo, so that's kind of nice. Um, kind of the one there's even a saxophone that shows up on track 3, Give It All, so that's that a little bit of throwback. There's some keyboards mixed in every so often, not quite to the level of our friends like in Spillage. So I don't think they use it. I don't think this band uses it as an instrument like Spillage does. I think they just kind of threw it in there as like a little bit of little bit of background filler. And then I can't remember if it's track 10 or track 11, but one of those two tracks kind of has um, a little bit of you know the song Mr. Roboto by Styx, right? You know that part at the very beginning where it kind of sounds like the vocals are literally done by a robot.
Yeah.
They kind of use a little bit of that on one of the last two tracks. I can't remember which one it is. I'd have to go back and listen to it. A lot of the songs on this album sound like they would kind of be like 80s movie montage kind of background music, but just just with a little bit of a heavier edge to it. So like I say, there's a lot of
Type something. Or,
yeah, there's a lot of nostalgic aspects to this, a lot of throwback. Um, most of it is done, like I say, most of it's done pretty well. Some of it is bordering on pop, which I didn't really care for. A couple of songs like there's
like cheesy or
yeah, a little too cheesy, almost too far to the pop aspect. There's a track number 5, ironically, is called "Sucks to Suck," and it's not really the best song on the album, but a lot of them are really good. The first track, "Circle of Evil," is badass. "Best of the Best of the Best" is really good. That's track 2. "Blood Magic" track 4 is good. There's track number 9 is called "Thunderdome," and I could definitely I know it's not, but if this song would have been around back when Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome came out, that song could have totally been on that soundtrack because it's literally the chorus is literally 2 man enter, 1 man leave in the Thunderdome. So they were talking about the movie. So I mean that song definitely could have fit on that soundtrack. Another thing that really didn't work for me. It didn't bother me at first, but they went way too far with like the haze and the hoes and the woes that in the background the band would harmonize with the lead vocalist, and they were doing too much hey ho and whoa in the background. They kind of went a little overboard on that. They could have dialed that back a little bit if you ask me. But like I say, it's not too bad. Like I say, I've never heard of this band until today, even though they do have 6 other albums under the belt. May or may not check out some of their other stuff, but gonna give this one 3 horns out of 5. Um, Overall, it wasn't bad. There's a lot of heavy metal fans that probably wouldn't really care for this album too much. I would say this is probably a little more of their style of metal. Yeah, this it's hard.
I
It's definitely
mean, okay.
hard rock, heavy metal. With I mean, they do have power metal in there. There's some thrashy stuff in there. So, but by and large, I think a lot of heavy metal fans will probably find it a little too cheesy, probably a little comedic. And that's the thing is they don't take themselves they're not taking themselves too seriously either. Just kind of like Steel Panther, but Steel Panther is like all the way in on the joke.
Yeah, yeah,
But
right.
yeah, so this one may be a little bit more of a like a niche kind of album, but I didn't, I had a good time with it.
Well, I just posted this up because you talked about it, and I was like, oh, I forgot to post the damn list up here. So
Yeah,
this is the weekly playlist, which the Striker Circle of Evil is on. So if you want to check that song out, it is on there. So
it's a good track.
then I'll let Chris go through the next week's album list, and then I'll throw the last week's theme of the week up there, Night
All
and Day.
right.
So, I forgot. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I kept thinking I was forgetting something.
Yeah. Well. Speaking of which, looking ahead to February 9th, next Friday, over at HeavyMusicHQ.com, leading off with Alpha Han with Var Tid Ar Nu. Don't know what language that's supposed to be. All This Filth with Will Tomorrow Be Better. Aureole with Al Nurian Ghosts of Bellmaster. We have Blutgott with Dragon Gods, Bone Jammer with Another Day in Paradise, Contaminated with Celebratory Beheading, seems kind of oxymoron, Dead Peach with The Cosmic Haze and The Human Race. We have The Devils with Let the World Burn Down, Distorted Reflection with Doom Rules Eternally, Ember Belladonna with the Grove, Emergency Rule with the King of Ithaca. We have Exa with Left in Shards, Five Finger Death Punch with Afterlife. That is the deluxe edition. We have FKU with the Horror and the Metal. Gates Open with Voice After Silence. Haystack with Doomsday Goes Away. Halder with Verses in Oath. Infected Rain with Time. In Vain with Back to Nowhere. We have Kujin's Mon with For Samtida Jur 1. The last 10 seconds of life with No Name Graves. Lockdown with Step Over the Bodies. Metal De Facto with Land of the Rising Sun Part 1. Morbid Saint was Swallowed by Hell. Nefariant with Knocked, that's an EP. New Saints with Resonate, that's an EP. Night Slasher with a self-titled album. Nocturnal Sorcery with Captive in the Breath of Life. Petrification with Sever Sacred Light. The Pineapple Thief with It Leads to This. We have Circus with Circus. That's P-S-Y-R-K-U-S. So it's Circus, I guess, with a self-titled album. We have Rebhas with Propaganda and Antihumana. Raw War with Total Raw War. I mean, if you're going to go Raw War, you might as well go Total Raw War.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Razor Wire Halo with all the terrible things. We have Red Temple Prey with Can It Get Any Worse? Revolution Saints with Against the Winds. We have Ramavos with Spirits. We have Selt Same Erden with Geden Kentempeln. I don't know. I got a bone up on my German. This is ridiculous. Smoking Snakes with Danger Zone. The Sorrow of Being Immaculate with Church Music for Satanists. That's weird. I don't know how that would work out. Spectral Voice with Sparagmos. Spiritual Deception with Semite Mentis. I do better with Latin. I don't know why. Symphony of Sweden with Haunted. Takeda with the Agony Flame. Throat. I don't know what the name of the album is. The name of the album isn't here. It just says Throat, and then it has the label listed, but it doesn't have the name of the album. Kind of a oversight on their part. We have Trunk with Born Dead, and then TSO with Hellcare. So a little bit of a shorter list, but plenty to choose from still.
At least there's one in there I'm looking forward to, the Infected Rain one.
I was about to say Infected Rain would probably be right up your alley there. So, but yeah,
love some Lena Scissorhands. There is the playlist I put up there for the night and day playlist theme of the week last week. So pretty good. So we listened to that a few times.
Yeah, that one ended up being 4 hours long. That playlist,
and that is on the radio station, so which is scrolling across the bottom of your screen there. So
yes,
make sure you check that out.
And if you want to get anything added to the radio station, you can send us an email at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com or drop us a line at any of our social media outlets. That would be our YouTube channel. It would be Twitch, Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok. Come over to the Facebook page and check that out. The Facebook group is private, but if you want to become a member, send us a membership request and we'll get you guys hooked up over there. And as Jason alluded to, all of our playlists are over on Spotify, the themes of the week and the weekly new release playlist that he puts together. And let's see, I do believe that's everything. Oh, metalheadsuniteusa.com is the merch store.
Yep. So also be on the lookout. I'm hopefully going. Actually, I'll probably make the shirt first, but I'm going to start working on the designs for the 2023 World Tour shirts. So I'm going to start designing it anyway. So when I do get everything ready to print, I can just print it and go. So I already have 20 shirts there.
It's a good start. I know we've already got one of them sold.
Yeah. Waiting on everything to come together on that.
Yep.
Didn't working on. Didn't want to work on the website, so we're working on that too. So a lot of things going big this year. So hopefully make everything. Hopefully I'm trying to make everything. Actually, I'm a simplified guy. I like to make everything. It kills me at work because we have to do so much stuff, like with different windows and everything. I'm like, why are we doing all that? Simplify this bullshit.
Streamline it. Yeah.
Well, the bad thing is, like with what I do, is like we have so many different windows because we can't contract it all out to one place because they consider that a monopoly if we only use in one company. So we have to use so many different companies to do
Yeah.
these things. And of course, they don't make it to communicate with each other because they're different companies,
Right.
and it's inconvenient as hell for the people that operate it. So I don't know.
Of course.
It's like, just get off your damn high horse and let them make all the shit that communicates with each other and be done with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's on my damn nerves. The government gets involved with everything. We
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to, but yeah, anyway, yeah, like I said, check out the stream. It's stream.trulyradio247.com/8006/stream, and you can get some merch over at our store that is currently open, www.metalheadsuniteusa.com. So there are some mugs and hats and t-shirts and stuff over there. So
Yep.
support.
Still some winter gear over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, well, I guess that will wrap this one up for this week. I appreciate Amy and Dana for stopping in, and
Always.
I appreciate Rockin' Heavy for showing some love over there. We love those guys as well. So,
Yeah.
Metal and Tats have some shows coming up. We'll start talking about here because it's starting to heat up with
Oh
them.
yeah.
They just added another show in April that we need to start talking about. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll kind of get the posters and stuff posted up here on that when it gets closer to. So
Yes, we will.
start doing the March shows first because that's just right around the corner, man.
It is. It's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah. Yep. So, well, that being said, I guess we will close this one out. Hope to
Yeah.
see you guys back here next week. So,
Yep.
then keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Mahalo, you guys. Have a great week.